No, he's still recording,
Hey,
but if I change his background.
well, we're live, guys. So
Are we live right now? Apparently we are. Yeah, we're not. Show. Let's go. I know it's a little bit thundering outside, so hopefully my internet is not bad. I just got the "You Are Live" screen now.
fins up, everyone. How are you doing?
Doing
We
great,
are
doing great.
live.
Excited for the season.
Yeah.
What's
Same
up,
here.
everybody?
Absolutely.
What's
Go
up,
on.
everybody?
Hey, Alex. It's all good, man. So fins up to all you. Nice to meet you, Alex and Charlie, and nice to be here again on your show, sir, for having us, Mr. Sports Talking It. So thank you for having us tonight.
Yeah, we're excited to have both of you guys on here on
Hey guys,
Chat 305, baby.
Yeah. So let's talk.
this video. Evan says he did this video, so I'm not real happy. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we are gonna talk Dolphins one way or the other, and that's what we're gonna do right now. No intro video. We're jumping straight into it. Charlie, I know your MacBook is having low power. You left the cord at home. So we gotta get this show on the road. Maybe that's why the Twitch isn't working. The video might work right now, kids. This computer is really gonna get punched in the face.
Okay, now we're there.
Yeah.
Troubleshooting 101, baby.
Yeah, that was just the first take, guys. We're just messing with you. Just as that was just a behind the scenes look to show us, we're all good at some bloopers and stuff. So,
Right.
So anyway, guys, fins up. I'm ready for Miami Dolphins football. How about you, Charlie and Alex?
I'm Charlie, just a big Dolphins fan since childhood. Living in the Pittsburgh Steelers country, closest team to me. So it's been a rough life, but go Fins, fins up.
Yeah.
Excited to have you guys out here on Chat 305 talking some local stuff and what I don't lie to you. There's a lot of excitement in the air. Summer's around the corner. The Marlins are starting to flounder, so they're giving us reason to talk about the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? We're excited. We're excited about Tua and company. Another year of the Cheetah. Another year of Waddle. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be the year. I love our head coach, and I'm seeing some hand signs over here, but I'm still going through with it. Before we start, I just wanted to make sure, you know what I'm saying, the most important thing to Dolphins Nation, Dolphins faithful, I just wanted to make sure that everybody connects with us, because when you hear this song, I know everybody feels it in their heart. Let me just cue the music real quick. Let me cue the music.
There you go. I love it. We're talking Super Bowl.
Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. Come on, it's like karaoke night.
Miami Dolphins. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, good stuff, Alex. Thank you, man.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Love it.
Hey, man, real quick, Rob, before we get started, what is that? You got a Roy Finkel jersey behind you? Who's that?
Nah. It's a Zach Thomas back there. So
Hall of Famer Zach Thomas.
That's right, baby. Put some respect on that name.
Hall of Famer, baby.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well deserved, long overdue. So it's great to have him where he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
That's right, baby. So
Charlie, real quick, are you driving up to Canton to watch the induction?
I am not. I went to Jason Taylor's. Would love to have went up this one, but yeah, I'm not.
I was at Dan Marino's, but I'm not going to this.
I was at Marino's also, yeah.
Yeah.
I plan on being at the Cheetahs when he gets inducted.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there's some Super Bowl wins under his belt with Miami.
That's right. So let's go around the horn, Charlie, real quick, man. What gets you most excited about this Dolphin season this year right now?
Oh my gosh, I'm an offense guy at heart, so we are going to be fast. Like the speed on the field when the offense is on the field is going to be insane. I know the Madden ratings and stuff like that don't really mean much in the real world, but when you look at Madden, we have the 2 fastest wide receivers in the game, the 2 fastest running backs in the game. I mean, there's going to be speed all over the field, and then Robbie Chosen Anderson, whatever he goes by now, the guy's still a flyer. I mean, he still blazes up the field. And I mean, if you put him in the 3 and get him in the seam going fast, I mean, it's just I can't wait. I can't wait to see the speed on the field.
Oh no, we're like a track team for sure. We would definitely win any 4x4 relay, So 4x400 relay, we would definitely win. That's for sure.
Yep. What about you, Rob? What got you amped up about this season?
Well, I'm a Dolphin fan, so I'm amped up. I mean, in the 1-15 season, I was amped up going into it, knowing it was going to be bad. But I'm always just a Dolphin fan, man. I just like it. I do believe we took some steps last year. Now it's McDaniel's second year. All the players are going to be in the system. We got a new defensive coordinator and Vic Fangio coming down, and he's going to help the defense take strides to improve. So I think some of the things that hurt McDaniel last year because he was trying to worry about so much. Now he kind of have like another head coach on the team in Fangio. So he would rest assured to just like really get the offense. Of course, he wanted to oversee the whole thing during preparations during the week as the head coach. But on game day, he's going to know Fangio is doing his thing. He's not going to have to worry about it. And he's going to be concentrating on getting that offense and getting the ball going. And I'm looking forward to it.
1,000%. I'm most excited about seeing another year, McDaniels, seeing what he's going to do with Tua, what he's going to do with Waddle, what he's going to do with the Cheetah. The Cheetah immediately came in last year. He made an immediate impact and made Waddle so much better. You saw Tua so much comfortable. I can't wait to really see what the offensive line is going to do, really protect our guy. You know what I'm saying? We need Tua healthy. No disrespect to Terry Bridgewater and my boy Skyler, but damn, you definitely felt the absence when he was gone. So I look to a solid season of our offensive line. Those guys need to be that wall that Trump wanted to build. Let me not get into politics, but you know what I'm saying? We need to protect Tua. You know what I'm saying? Unless we're gonna go get Lamar Jackson or something like that, we got to protect Tua at all costs.
No, for sure, because his biggest ability this year is availability. So you got to keep him healthy because he's proven he can be a winner when he's on the field healthy. And you got to keep him. That's it. That's the main key. Injury and keep Teron Armstead healthy and keep him on the field because we lost both of those guys for significant time last year, and you saw the performance dip as they were not playing. So I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, 1,000%. That feels like a good investment now with Armstrong, no?
Yeah, it is. As long as he stays healthy, yes. Last year he missed Armstead missed a lot of games, and it was not the best investment. So this year, though, he needs to get in there, stay healthy, play, and yes, he's going to be a good protector. And then, of course, Tua's blind side is actually the other side, like either Austin Jackson or someone like that needs to step up and be strong on the right side of the line to protect Tua's blind side, and him being a left-handed throwing quarterback. And but I'm with you. Yes, the offensive line needs to step up, protect the man, keep him healthy, and all teams that make good runs normally stay away from the injury. Every team's going to have some injuries, but they keep their major stars away from injury. And so a little luck has to fall in, and hopefully we stay healthy. You agree, Charlie?
I agree. And I'll tell you one thing, even with the offensive line, as long as Armstead is on the field, he makes everybody better. He communicates well, and then you can slide Tua to the left, and you can just do all kinds of things with him on the field. And I'm so scared of Austin Jackson on the right side, but that's who they're going with. That's who they're rolling with. Hopefully he's continued to develop, but I'm really scared of that side.
No, same here. I'm nervous on that front.
What I really can't wait for, honest to God, is when the first game of the season, that home opener, man. There's nothing like going to the Hard Rock and getting the grilling going, turning on the barbecue, seeing Dolphins Nation out there, everybody riled up, excited, talking about Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even born when we won the Super Bowl, so that's how far it's been. Like We need them to go out there and like give us his continued winning success. You know, I really credit Mike McDaniels, what he's done. He's built that confidence into Tua, you know, something that I felt that he needed a lot. He needed that confidence. He needs that boost from his head coach to tell him, hey, you're the guy. Let's go out there. We back you up. And that's really being a player's coach. So I love what he's done.
Yeah, no, I am 100% right, because Flores was not knocking guys when they're gone. They're gone. Thank you for your time. But he was the opposite. He would throw Tua under the blood. Like a couple bad passes and you're getting yanked and you're putting in someone else. And in my opinion, Tua should have not even seen the field in the first season. He was coming off a major hip injury coming from Alabama. Then they bring him in, you know, when Fitzpatrick was actually playing okay. And then they bring him in. Then he starts not playing well. Then they yank the kid. So, I mean, once you go with him, you just got to go with him. That's your starter from, you know, to the future until you draft a new kid. So yanking him and playing yo-yo with him doesn't do anything confidence-wise, because no matter what job you have, you're not going to want like, hey, Rob, you're my frontline guy here on the job. And then like a minute, oh, Todd's doing better. Get back there, you loser. Oh, Todd's out 60 days. Now you got to go back in there and be the number one guy. So you don't want to hear that. And that's just mental games. I mean, he's coming off a major hip injury, then getting yo-yoed in and out of the lineup. He should have set out his whole rookie year. They could have played it off. Listen, he's coming off a major hip injury. We're just using, you know, abundance of precaution to keep him, you know, off the field for this year as he learns our system. But instead, mental games began. Then after that, we're already hearing, oh, they want Watson, they want this. Every quarterback under the sun basically was linked to the Dolphins. So now, you know, it's good to firmly say we got him as QB1. Whether he turns out to be the guy, this year will tell. This is a no excuse year for Tua. I don't care if it's an injury, doesn't matter, because that's part of the game. You got to stay healthy to be available. And to me, this is it. This is a year that he has to step up. This is really like his third year. I throw out his rookie year, and, you know, this is his first time actually being in the second year of an offense, because every other year the kid's been thrown with a new coordinator, new system, new this. So I'm thinking that we're in the right direction finally and have the right coach and quarterback pairing.
I agree. It's the continuity is going to be key this year with all of that. Just the belief into it. But because here's the thing, we may talk contracts, we may talk, you know, financial, and I know the salary cap's, you know, a fake number, but realistically, we got a 2-year window.
Yeah,
we got a 2-year window, and I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be a total dismantlement after 2 years, but we legitimately have a 2-year window.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like you said, you can if you win, that window grows, because then you get veterans wanting to come here on the cheaper side. That's what happened in New England. Once they started winning, veterans that have already had their big paydays and done well, then they're like, oh, okay, I take a little less to play for New England because I might get a ring, you know? So it's like, if we could get that kind of foundation going down here, that'd be great. That's what you need. That's why we need to keep a coach longer than, you know, Dolphins change their coach like every 3 years, and we change offensive line coach more than I change my underwear. It's just like every year they're getting a new offensive line coach. And again, this year, you know, we got another new offensive line coach, but hopefully this time he's the guy. We stay a long time, and, you know, that's what we need, Alex. Like Charlie said, consistency.
Yep.
Yeah, 1,000%. I feel you guys. Like, it's hard for a player, any player, not just Tua. It's hard for players to adapt when you got a constant rotation and just change and change and change and change. Like, how are we supposed to adapt if you just keep changing this shit, like year in and year out? So it's nice to see some consistency. They were really giving the Marlins a run for their money with all the manager manager swaps, the head coaches swaps. So, yeah, man, like I said before, I love to see McDaniels there. I'd love to see what he's going to do. You guys mentioned earlier, you know, we got a new offensive coach that's going to help us. You know, it's going to help McDaniels not have to worry about so much. You know, it was his first year. He was trying to show all his tricks in a bag at once. And, you know, there was a lot of shit going through his head.
No,
and
for
yeah,
sure.
He did a decent job. But, like, I think he's got to take this year and really trust his team, you know, surround himself with good people that he trusts, and, you know, he's going to feel comfortable. What you mentioned about having veterans come out here and playing for like a pay cut or something like that. I mean, I feel that, but unlike the Patriots, like we haven't had that sustained winning.
We haven't. That's what we need to get to.
Yeah, we need that sustained winning. We need to bring a championship. We need to bring feel good feelings to South Florida. The fan base, everybody knows the fan base needs it. The Marlins need it. The Dolphins need it. You know what I'm saying? More than the Heat, more than the Panthers. Like, Dolphins faithful needs that. And
No, for sure, because the Heat and Panthers I don't follow hockey much. It was fun to watch the Panthers a little bit this year, try to learn a little bit about hockey. And it's always okay to see the Heat, but neither one of those teams, I don't really roll with them. I don't even wear their gear around town. I'm always in my Dolphin stuff or my Boston Red Sox stuff in baseball. But it's just, those are the teams I really root for. So the Dolphins need that winning mentality in South Florida. Just bring it back. Because when I was a kid, I was too young to remember the Super Bowl wins, but I remember the Super Bowl losses. When I was a kid, we lost to the Redskins, now Commanders. So I don't want to get us banned by saying the Redskins, but the Commanders, and then we lost to them. That's like the John Riggins. You're probably even too young for that, but we lost to that. Then we lost to Joe Montana and the 49ers when Dan Marino's second year in the league in 1984. And he kicked butt all year. I thought for sure we were going to go in there and win, and it was just going to be a great season, but it didn't happen. And Dan Marino never got to buy Joe Montana a Diet Pepsi, because after the Super Bowl, they had a Diet Pepsi commercial, and Joe Montana buys for Dan Marino. And I came to find out they had filmed both scenarios. And then, but it's like that time Joe Montana bought, but then he flips Dan Marino the Diet Pepsi, and he goes, well, next year, Joe, I'm buying. But next year never came, unfortunately. It just stinks. I was always thinking, okay, yeah, eventually, that would have been cool. But I wish I would have seen the version of Dan Marino winning the Super Bowl and flipping it to Joe Montana. That's what I would have wished. But hey, it is what it is, So yes, sorry, Alex, to make a long-winded answer, but yes, they need to bring winning back to South Florida.
Absolutely.
Charlie, you want to chime in on that? You want to add something to that?
It's been a long time. So, I've never really seen – again, I grew up as a Marino fan, or that's how I started becoming a Dolphins fan. But I've never had a Dolphins team where I could root for, and, we are walk into the year and we are a contender year after year. And I would love for us to get to that. You got to respect what Brady did up in New England for all those years. You got to respect what Mahomes is already building. I want to be that. I want to have the franchise, and I want to have the stability where we're every single offseason we come in, oh, this is going to be our year, and then it just falls apart. No, I want to walk in. I want a team to root for that. I walk into the offseason and come into the first week of the season. Hey, we are a legit contender. I'm excited. And I want to feel that year in, year out. And I know that's hard to do in the sports world, especially the NFL world with the salary cap and everything. But I think we can get there. I feel way more confident now than I have probably in the last, I don't even know how many years.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of us can agree with that. Don't you, Alex? Man, it's like we're stacked this year compared to what other Dolphins rosters have been recently.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, look, I'm going to go ahead and confess this, man. I find myself a little bit like an alternative universe here. Right, with Rob, in the sense of he's a diehard Dolphins fan, he's a Red Sox fan, right? I'm the opposite, right? I'm a Dolphins fan for the past couple of years, right? It hurt me to root for them because I mentioned earlier before the show started, I got too many headaches with the Marlins, rooting for the Dolphins. Holy shit, I need some happiness in my life, right?
Yeah.
But there used to be a time when I discovered what football really was and getting into the sport. I'm Latino. I'm from Venezuela, the national sports baseball. Long story short, when I really discovered what football was, I was living in Tennessee, and I know I didn't become a Titans fan. I ended up being a Patriots fan because my school mascot was a Patriot. And it was just when, Tom Brady got the go-ahead, against the Rams, and the rest was history. So I just jumped on that train. And then I was like, you know what? Brady's out of the picture. Let me go back home. Let me root for the home team.
Well,
I got Yeah, for sure. And I you talk about 84 and Dan Marino when he was in the Super Bowl. I wasn't even a thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I think about Dan Marino, you know what I'm saying? I think about the Rooney commercials. Who you gonna call?
Right.
Oh, Rooney! You remember that shit?
I remember those commercials down here. That's a local commercial, guys, down here in South Florida. He worked for a did commercials for a local auto.
Yeah, Auto Nation. I think they're Auto Nation now. Or I don't know what the hell they are.
They're one of the millions of companies that got bought out by Auto Nation years ago. But yeah, so he did do those local for when it was Marooney. You're 100% right.
But yeah, man, I always felt some type of way. I felt bad for Dan because Dan's always been that that legend here in South Florida. Everybody knows who the fuck Dan Marino is. Everybody knows who Don Shula is. You know what I'm saying? It's like key names that people know who they are. We got a Don Shula Expressway out here. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point you gotta be like, who the hell's Don Shula if you didn't know who they were? You know, no disrespect. Obviously now I know as an adult, you know. But nothing, man. I'm looking forward to being on this side of the Dolphins and seeing them like, damn, they look like they're getting this shit together. Yeah. There's some upside, there's some motivation. Like I'm amped up about it. You know, I always used to talk shit about the Marlins and they built pro player Joe Robbie for the Dolphins because the House of Marlins built because of the 2 championships. But it's time for South Florida. They really deserve it. Like we're a storied franchise. You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't want to be an NFL player? And people that, you know what I'm saying, there's got to be somebody out there, not only the local kids that grow up out here in South Florida and they root for the Dolphins. I'm sure there's players out there in the NFL right now that are like, yo, who can I sign with? That I want to make them good. I want to make them great. I want to make like people excited. Like, and why not? Why not start with the Miami Dolphins? So history. So they made a movie with them, Ace Ventura. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. Like we got all this great history, and it's time to really give us a feel good moment, like a real legit feel good moment. I want to go to Calle Ocho, hit the pots and the pans. I want to be at the Hard Rock, turned up. You know what I'm saying? Like. Damn, one of my favorite Dolphins of all time. I'm a little bit all over the place right now. That Corona's starting to hit me. But, was Ricky Williams. You imagine Ricky was one of those guys like, yo, just how everybody talks about Dan Marino deserved the title. Ricky deserved the title. You know what I'm saying? Like Zach Thomas.
Run, Ricky, run. They ran him into the ground for sure, Dave Von Stat.
They sure as hell did.
Yeah. That's it. So that's for sure. Now you know why he used to smoke his stuff because they ran him into the ground, you know. But if he hadn't gotten suspended because of that, he would be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for his suspensions. But you know, he just got suspended. Couldn't say now, you know, they wouldn't even suspend him for the weed, you know. But back then it was a big thing, and I was mad at him for years because I'm like, oh, they're so stupid. How you know the rules? Don't do it. You know, wait till whatever time of year that you know you can pass a damn test or whatever. But you know, he just always got busted, and we always missed him, and it's just, you know, it stunk because he would have been a Hall of Famer with some record type numbers if he would have just stayed away from the weed.
I just honestly feel like the NFL targeted his ass. They try to make him an example, and look at it now. It's just a slap on the wrist, and it's a damn shame.
No, back then it was ridiculous, man. Guys would beat their wives, play the next Sunday, smoke a little weed, and you're suspended for games and games, and you know, it's crazy. But now, you know, they've straightened that out and they put more emphasis on not beating the women and all that good kind of stuff. So as you know, at least they've taken steps to the right way. But man, it was frustrating just as a Dolphins fan, taking all the personal stuff out. Just as Dolphin fan, like, oh, Ricky, we're gonna go well. He's suspended for the year, fans. So they're like, son of a gun, he's over there in India, you know, meeting the Dalai Lama and stuff. So
that was when his holistic era.
Yeah, I know, that was like crazy, man.
What a character! Forever a South Florida legend, Ricky Williams, man. Shout out to Ricky. Hopefully we can pull him on here. Hey, my man, I'm gonna talk to my producer, try to pull some strings. Maybe you have Ricky Williams out here. We'll have a smoke session.
Yeah, we'll have to talk. We'll have to talk to that producer of the channel. You know, see if we can get Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
So speaking of running backs, what do you guys feel about Mostard, Wilson, or is it going to be a chain?
A-Chain. Yeah, Devon A-Chain. He was he's a rookie this year. We drafted him in the 3rd round. I think he could go.
I'm excited about him. I really am. I'm excited about this kid. I have him on my fantasy roster already.
No, I like to say I'm off the chain for A-Chain. So, you know, I just think because he's going to move the chains, he's good. I do believe Mozart will be the starter, though, hitting into, you know, he's a veteran. He's played with McDaniel before he even came to Miami. Now he has a year in Miami system. So I do believe.
So did Luke.
Yeah,
but
so I know.
31. But Mosert's 31.
Yeah. Hey, and Mozart's fast, man. And I still never forget that Buffalo game up in Buffalo last year in the regular season, not the playoff game because Mozart was hurt. We would have won if he would have just kept on running Mozart. For whatever reason, we were running the ball all over Buffalo, and then they just went away from it and started passing more and stopped the running game, and it never made sense to me. But, you know, it is what it is. That's a rookie head coach, and it's hard not to want to throw the ball when you got Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the outside. So I understand where he was coming from. But in that game particularly, Mozart still finished with over 100 yards in that game, but he was just kicking their butt. They couldn't stop him, and then they just kind of drifted away from that, and I don't know why.
I'm actually a Jeff Wilson fan. I mean, I'll go kind of the opposite, not because of the age or anything, but just I remember watching Jeff Wilson when he was at the Niners because I had him on my fantasy roster that one year that he came out of nowhere and took over the starting running back
Right.
because they had like quadrillion injuries. But just the way he gets through the line and makes his cut, and he almost glides through. Once he gets that hold, he almost glides. And I think if he stays healthy, I really think he could lead the team in rushing. And then you sprinkle Mostert in to spell him. And then if you can get a chain on the outside with his speed, it could be something we haven't seen ever.
No, I agree with you. And I do like. Go ahead.
I read that they were going to use A-Chain more in the passing. They might even start lining him outside in the slot too.
Yeah,
I read that. I don't know if it's true. You guys are more experts on this category than I am, but this is just what I was reading.
Yeah. No, on the days that they let the media go to the OTAs and the mini camps, they did say he lined up out there too, but they're not allowed to say because the Dolphins, it's like nuclear secrets when it comes to NFL football on what they were allowed to say, because they weren't even allowed to say who was starting and who was lining up in starting position, but they were allowed to say some formations that they might show and whatever. And they did say, they did put A-Chain in most in the lot and he would end up in the slot. So, but whether that comes to be real camp and real games we'll see, or they just experimenting in the mini camp, So that'd be cool though. But he's fast. I mean, he might be the fastest guy on the team. I don't know. He might be able to beat Tyreek Hill in a straight. You never know.
When Charlie was talking about it in the beginning, I was like, "Well, you got this other guy named A-Chain here. He's pretty quick from what I recall." And I don't what. Excuse me. What did Madden rate him by chance?
He was second to Mostert. Mostert was the fastest running back, and A-Chain was the second fastest running back in the entire game. So just on the Dolphins, but the entire game, which it was crazy.
Yeah, see, I'm not a Madden guy, so I'll take your word. I did see that going around Dolphins Twitter, of course, because everything makes its rounds around Dolphins Twitter. But I'm not. My son will play Madden, but I'm not a big Madden guy, man. I'm old man. I like Tecmo Bowl days or what I played when I was.
Go Jackson, baby.
Yeah. Oh my God, forget it, man. If he is God no matter what. You had to
Tim
call
Brown, Marcus Allen was in the backfield with him.
Yeah, I know. I would just call running
dangerous.
every time that someone picked the Raiders against me. I had to pick one of those two running plays and you just hope he gets the right running play, because if not, it's a touchdown.
Yep.
Those are good old days. Sorry, Alex, it's your show and we're just talking all over you.
Oh, please, by all means. That's the whole point of it. Everybody can talk and bounce off ideas and take their head off. I can't be the only guy talking here.
Yeah, exactly. But no, man, it's like you said, I do like Jeff Wilson. He's more of the pounder guy, though, too. So he might get some of those tougher yards. But if you want to break one to the house, I think it's either Mozart or A-Chain. But yeah, I mean, Wilson definitely can pound. I think we're solid at running back. I mean, if you don't add a Delvin Cook, I'm sorry. And I think Mike McDaniels is. What's that?
I think Mike McDaniels is very happy with his three running backs right now because he is a running back guy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And he coached Mostert and Wilson.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I mean. Like, he went out and made sure he brought both of them with him.
Yeah,
didn't matter how long it took. He was going to get his guys.
Right. That's what I say.
Once San Francisco got McCaffrey, it was like, okay, we got to ship someone. And who wanted him? Mike McDaniels.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a big key to that.
I wanted to touch base on the defense, right? So everybody loves offense.
We didn't even get the defense yet.
Let's hop into the defense because you know what I'm saying. I love watching me some safeties. I love seeing me some picks. I love seeing the special teams out there. What gets you most excited about the defense, Charlie?
Defensive line. I mean, that's
5 seconds.
like I obviously we've got two superstars at cornerback, but they're going to operate better if we can get pressure on the quarterbacks. If we can get up the middle with Christian Wilkins, if we can get Phillips on the outside, if we can get Chubb on the outside, and just collapse in that pocket and making the quarterback have a hurried throw, then that's going to make Ramsey and X's job so much easier. And then you bring Brandon Jones back in from the strong safety, and you got Javon Holland. I mean, just like really, I feel like our weakest unit, and it has been for years, is the linebacking core. But I think that our defensive line now is good enough to make up for that deficit and make the secondary's job easier and force some bad passes by the quarterbacks.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, no, I like him. All what Charlie just said. I like that we brought in Vic Fangio. He's going to make the job, better for McDaniel. He doesn't, like I said, during game day, he's McDaniel. So I'm going to have to worry, because last year, it's probably like, oh, what's Josh Boyer going to do? It's like worrying about that, worrying about this. And then when it came to clock management, he's sometimes probably messing up because he has a million things going through his head. But now he got like another veteran coach over there. Fangio is going to get the most out of his players. That's what his history is in the NFL. He goes to a team and he improves it because he sees his strengths and weaknesses in the defense, and he puts the players in what they do best most often as he can. Like a Jerome Breaker, he's much better on the outside, being able to rush the passer at times and do that than he is in coverage. And I think, and stopping the running game, he's fine, and rushing the quarterback. And coverage is not his thing. So I'm sure Fangio is going to know this and get other guys to take some of that for Jerome Baker and what he does well. I think Javon Holland's going to step up and have like a really big season, interception rise. Xavier Howard's going to be improved. So and I really think Jalen Phillips, there's a lot of guys on the defense I like. Hopefully Bradley Chubb finally steps up, because we gave up. I was not a fan of that trade the minute they did it. I didn't think they should give up a number 1 draft pick for him, because not only do you have to give up a number 1 draft pick for him, you got to give him a bag of money once he's in your building, because you can't give up a number 1 draft pick and make him a rental like they do in baseball, where, after the trade deadline, then they walk after, because he was set to be a free agent after last year. So the Dolphins had to give him the bag of money. And to me, I was like, okay, if I want him to prove me wrong, go out there and put up double-digit sacks in the Fangio systems. He's worked with Fangio in the past when they were both together in Denver. So he should know, and I should see some improvement from Chubb, and make me eat my word saying that we should have never given up because I would have much rather have a first-round pick this year than give it up like we did and not have a first-round pick. But now it is what it is. He's on the team. He's a Dolphin. He's wearing the aqua and orange, so I'm rooting for him to go out there and kick butt.
Yep, and I apologize. The disrespect for Zach Sealer. He's another beast that I think underrated player on the defensive line. Right, lining up beside Wilkins, and I apologize for leaving him out. He's my guy. He's just that unsung hero of that.
Oh,
line.
He is. I agree. He's the unsung hero. I like him too, and I left both him and Wilkins out, just trying to real quick focus on everything. But yeah, both of those guys, and I don't even know what I just don't know where I stand 100%, because they both want money. They're both free agents at the end of this year, and with Wilkins and Sealer, and I just don't know if they can sign both of them. So maybe you keep on, but is Sealer as good without Wilkins on the team? That's what we don't know, but I like him. He's unheralded, and he might be cheaper to keep him long-term than Wilkins long-term, so you're going to have to pick and choose which one, because the Dolphins are going to be up against the cap next year. But I like them both.
Yep, but I just love Wilkins. I love what he brings to the team, and the fire and the passion, and like you see him run when the offense scores a touchdown. You see that 300-pound guy running down the field. Of course, he injured a guy a couple of years ago, but
yeah, he did.
hopefully, refrains from that. But like just the excitement he brings on that.
Oh
field.
no, 100%. He's a leader on and off the field. Those things you can't measure by stats and stuff. So he has that too. He's like an unquestioned leader. I like him a lot. Want him here, but always at the end of the day, like you say, whether you say the cap is real or fake, it's still a cap at the end of the day, and you can't keep everyone, because teams are going to be able to offer more money, more upfront money, or whatever to get them away from your team. So yeah, we're going to see some people leave this year after this year. So that's why we got to win this year and next year, because we got a lot of contracts coming due.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to go big or go home, man. And for the first time in a long time, there's a lot of excitement surrounding Dolphins baseball on both sides of the ball, offensive, defensive. Like, you get it riled up about all the types of guys. So it's good to see, good to feel. The fan base loves it. Like, Charlie, I'm going to start off with you. What do you think is a move that you would love to see this team do to take us over the top? That's really going to get us over the top. Don't be afraid to get controversial. Don't feel no type of way. Go ahead, give us your 2 cents. Rob, start thinking about it. You're on deck.
Man, I don't know. It's not out there. It could be in trade, but it's not out there on the free agent market. But I really feel like we need a huge upgrade at right tackle. I think that would just put the whole offense together if we can get a true solid starting right tackle on that line. And I know that's not controversial or big, but man, I think that's the missing piece. If Tua stays healthy, the offensive line is the missing piece of this team, of the whole team.
1,000%. We can't give ourselves the luxury of losing Tua again for the 400th concussion of the year. Like last year was kind of bizarre, the whole protocols and everything. And bro, the guy's a warrior, Tua. You know what I'm saying? He get concussions and kept falling and getting fucked up and hitting, blasted. And I was like, holy shit, this guy is he's a walking human dummy. He looked like one of those car dummies, just getting blasted left and right. It's like, we really need to work on that offense. So I'm with you, Charlie. We need that right tackle, make that shit happen. What about you, Rob?
No, I agree. But, some of it, Tua has to learn to get rid of the ball when he has a chance, because the game in Cincinnati was not on the offensive line at all. That was 100% on Tua. He had plenty of time. He got out of the pocket, and then he decides he's going to run right back into the heart of the defense, and he got nailed down to the floor, and that's where, it was all the made national news, because the previous week there was question, was he concussed? Wasn't he concussed against the Bills? So people were questioning it, but then they said he wasn't. So he came back and he played on a short week. He runs right into it. But if he would have just dumped off the ball, we would have never had all that mess last year. So that one was there. But, yes, there are times that the line didn't protect him well enough for sure. And like I said, I even think their help along the defensive line could be used. The offensive line. Dolphin fans have been forever saying the offensive line. It felt like since the Marino years have been saying, we need to improve the offensive line. We need to, ever since Marino's been gone, it seems like we've been saying we need help on the line. So you can never have enough offensive linemen. But I even think defensive line, because behind Sealer and Wilkins on that interior part, we got Raycon Davis. I don't really know. He hasn't shown. He's been inconsistent. But after those, you don't even know the names on the roster. That's how thin we are. So I wouldn't mind seeing an Akeem Hicks or something like that be signed in the, he's still a free agent out there. Someone like that, Shelby Harris, something like that. I don't know. There are some names that are still, free agents the last I checked. So because we're razor thin on that defensive tackle. They're good, but if they should go down, and that's why they logged more snaps than most defensive tackles across the league last year, because the depth behind them is almost like nothing. So you definitely, I would like to see another veteran come in and help along the interior. Outside, I think we're fine. Defensive interior line could use some improvement too.
So let's say Stephen Ross doesn't want to open up the wallet, right? And look, typical owner, he doesn't want to open up the wallet. But
please, he opens up that wallet more. He opens that wallet more than anyone in the whole NFL. But remember, the salary cap is a thing. But if there was no salary, say if it was like baseball and all that it was a luxury tax issue, he'd be like the Dodgers owner, the Padres owners, the Mets owners. He'd be going out there saying he wouldn't care. He would pay that luxury tax without worrying about it, and he would go out there and sign. But of course, so far in baseball, they're kind of proven just because you give the most money doesn't mean you're the best team. Both the Padres and the Mets are failing, but with that said, that money is, Ross would be spending that money. It would be a competition between him and Jerry Jones on who's spending the most money to get the free agents to their team, because he doesn't care. He gives the most upfront money of any guy I've ever seen, because Chris Kerr goes, hey, can we rework his contract again and give him more money up front so we can make a little more room for the cap this year? And Ross is like, okay, where do I sign? He doesn't even question it. So I know Ross gets a lot of heat, but the man signs and he's willing to open that paycheck, and I like that for him.
Yeah, he every year after year, he writes those signing bonus checks to help out with the cap year after year.
And a lot of owners would not do that. They would say, hey, because the general manager, we're kind of against the cap. Because, that's what I'm paying you to do, to draft right, keep cheap talent on the team. Don't keep on coming to tell me to redo this to get more money. But Ross doesn't care. He just says, okay, where do I sign? And I like that from him.
Do you guys think that, given the salary cap and everything, do we have the luxury of trading, future round picks or something like that from some? We're kind of thin. We talked about we're thin in the O line, the D line. Do we have any wiggle room to kind of bust a trade?
I mean, I guess you could always have someone, but not me really. And we need to keep, because the past few years we've gotten, when Greer and Flores first started running, we had so many extra picks. Now in the past few years, between the league taking some away and then us trading them away, we don't have many picks. So next year we finally have a first round pick. So no matter what, that's untouchable. I would not trade that first round pick, because since McDaniel's been here, we haven't even had a pick in the first round. So that would be totally 100% off the books for me. There's I don't care what player you're being offered, I'm not giving our number one pick away from him. So how about you, Charlie? I'm sorry, I went long-winded again.
No, I agree. Because the last couple of years has been the F those picks strategy,
Right.
Which has turned into great players. I'm kind of with you. I think Bradley Chubb is a really good player. I don't think he was worth the first round and all that money. I agree with you, because I think you could have done a little bit better with that pick and the money. But we like you said, we are where we are, and I mean, I would definitely hold on to that, because we're going to have to start. Like I said earlier in the show, 2 years. That's what we got, and then we got to start building a new team. And we can't do that when we don't have picks.
No, for sure. I agree. And drafting, though, is the longest way to win longevity-wise, because you get cheap talent and then you move them on in a few years. Like the good teams that win end up not even keeping. Look at Kansas City. They let Tyreek Hill go, turned what was a fifth-round pick and got multiple picks, including a first-round pick from the Dolphins, and still won the Super Bowl. And then they had an extra pick in the draft. So it just shows this, it's crazy when you build a team the right way. And drafting is the best way. You can win both ways. The Rams proved that you can win with the F that pick mentality. But overall, if you look at the history in the NFL, the teams that draft the best are the best.
Yeah, but you got to have that quarterback.
No, that's it. Nowadays, the world, we've back the Trent Dilfers and all these guys showing up, and what is it? Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer. Those days of winning the Super Bowl, are over. And Jeff Hostetler and all these guys. So, those days of winning the Super Bowl are over. You almost, because, look, Patrick Mahomes, Brady, these are the recent Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. It's you got the studs winning the Super Bowls. So that's what we need.
Is Jalen Ramsey going to click in well with this team?
Yes.
Yep.
I think Fangio bring him right in and mold him right in, and I mean he's voluntarily been on the field when he didn't have to be already. Yeah, I think he fits right in.
Yeah, I think so too. And he hasn't played with Fangio, but he's played in a Fangio style defense that comes from Fangio's coaching tree. So I think he will step right in. Hey, that's Finn's Talk Network, man. That's a great guy there. I would be watching his show if I wasn't here on the nice, great guest. He's the Finn's Talk Sports Network. Every Tuesday night I am a guest on his network. So they're a great guy.
Well, thank you for coming to our network tonight there, Robert.
Yeah, hey, it's all good, man. I just did my own show too before this, so it's all fun.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got to get those shameless plugs in there, So
as you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I promote other people's shows. I do.
Yeah, that you do. So.
Yo, Rob. So
not about.
I was gonna tell you, Rob, that I fins up, fellas, fins up. Shout out to Finn's Talk Sports Network, baby. Fins up. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, so I got maybe 5 more topics here I want to hit, and I'm gonna try to fly through these. I don't want to have you guys here all night unless somebody's gonna pull out the tequila.
I appreciate it. 6 a.m. comes early.
No, yeah. I'm with you. All right, so real quick, guys. We talked about, Rob. I identify myself a lot with you in the sense of that I don't play Madden either, because every time I find myself playing Madden with my boys, I would always get 50'd. I don't want to talk about it, but let's talk about fantasy football. I mean, you got to be into fantasy football, no?
Oh, they're talking to the guy. I'm all Dolphin, man. Dolphin thirsty, but I am not a fantasy football or a Madden guy. I'm not. One of my sons plays Madden, and then my other son does fantasy. He's in college up at UF, and he does his fantasy football. But I'm not a big. I know all you guys are because you've already mentioned it, and I was thinking, if they start talking fantasy football, I'm in trouble because my fantasy.
Well,
comes
Charlie.
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, it makes
Charlie's
Sundays.
big, you know?
But to me, I'm such a Dolphin fan. I just can't. Now, if I ever get into where I do some daily fantasy football from time to time, a couple of bucks here and there, but I never want to put a guy on the Dolphins because I know some people that go, I hope he score a couple. I'm like, he's playing the Dolphins. He can get some touchdowns. I go, chances are if he scores 2 touchdowns, we're going to lose. So I never wanted that. So I never even. The last time I did fantasy football, it was all handwritten back in the day when Dan Marino played. And me and my friend had to wait for the newspaper the next day to look at the stats and do it. But I haven't played since then. And then, I just couldn't do it. I can never go against my Dolphins. I wouldn't want a running back going against my Dolphins, a receiver or a quarterback, because I'd be rooting against them. And it's just, to me, it's just, I just never done fantasy football. That's my reason. So now you guys can go and talk about your fantasy football.
This is going to sound very fair weather fandish here, but I got into fantasy football back in the early 2000s because the Dolphins sucked so bad that I had to have a reason to follow the NFL through the whole season because I knew after 5 weeks I was going to be done with the Dolphins. Not really done with them, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And so that's how I got into it. And I've been in it for 20 plus years, and I can't even tell you how many leagues I'm in this year.
Are you back with the FSB?
Yep. I got in for my 6th straight year in the SFB. Which is a nationwide charity tournament for FantasyCares.org. Shout out to them. It's a great charity for kids, and the whole tournament is based around that. And so I'm back in it for SFB 13.
Word. That's 13 is about the number. I've been playing 13 years. I've been playing fantasy football with my boys from college, and it's always good to catch up with the boys. Like Charlie said, there was times where, all right, the season's in the gutter. What do I do now, right? But I feel like fantasy football helped us all enjoy red zone and give you more excitement. Oh, son, the fucking Rams scored a goal. Not a goal. I'm sorry, a touchdown.
Yeah.
But it was like, all right, it gives you a reason to really enjoy the sports a lot more and root for other guys and kind of discover pieces. But then, my boy Flip would always freaking wait till like 2-3 a.m. till the waiver was open and start claiming motherfuckers, and I would get mad. And that's at the other days because people started putting money on the fantasy football. So
that's what people do. They do. But to me, I see why people like it because for years everyone always tried to get me at work. Join our league. We still got an opening. I just never did because like I said, I couldn't do it. Now, daily, like I said, kind of fun sometimes. My sons are younger.
But you're still rooting against your team.
But how's that?
Because if you're doing daily fantasy and football, you still could have
someone. I'm biased. That's why I'd probably never be good. I would never pick someone that I think could go against the Dolphins. If they're playing against the Dolphins that week, I wouldn't pick a player. I don't care if it was like the best buy whatever in the world. I would never, ever pick a guy to go against my Dolphins. Never. Because I wouldn't want any reason to root. Not even the kicker or whatever they would pick. They don't do the kicker in the daily, but we know what I mean. I just wouldn't even pick anyone to be against the Dolphins.
So you're telling me Justin Jefferson, a lock for 20 points every week. The Vikings are playing the Dolphins, and you wouldn't put him in your lineup?
Nope. That's why I probably would if I did, because I would know I would have. That's why I don't want to be put in that. So that's why I don't do it. So
fair enough.
And then I just wouldn't.
I would still start Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. See, that's it. I just root too hard for the Dolphins, man.
Someone you can't sit on your bench. He's a first-round pick. Maybe second round, depending on how your points are.
Yeah, but that is my reason when people ask me. It's just because I'm too much of a Dolphin guy to even care about fantasy football in the least little bit against my Dolphins. So that's it. That's 100%.
After a while, you kind of just go, okay, I really need this guy because I'm the coach, and the Dolphins aren't my team today.
Yeah, no, I could never. I would never, ever in a million years do it. And that's why I would never, ever, ever, ever join fantasy football on like I said, unless the Dolphins expanded from the NFL, the Dolphins cease to exist, then maybe I would join in fantasy football, And I
Oh,
missed it
Charlie,
because
I'm sure you go through this a lot, Charlie, because you're in what 6-7 leagues, you said?
Yeah, a little bit more than that this year. I couldn't say. I got invited to too many and said yes to too many. But I'll give you one example.
Charlie,
last year, I'll give you one example real quick. Last year, the Ravens game, right? Probably one of the most exciting Dolphins games, at least in my lifetime, right? I mean,
Right.
absolutely loved it. I had Lamar Jackson as my starting quarterback in my main league.
well, that's a great example because he did well for you, but the Dolphins still won. So he still did well, and the Dolphins still won. But in my scenario, the Dolphins would have lost if I would have had him or something. So that's just it. I wouldn't want that. But no, that's a good example because at least he had that long run for a touchdown. So that must have got you a bazillion points on that play alone. And then, because you got rushing yards and a touchdown all on one play. But with that said, I'm still just too much of a Dolphin to even want that to happen.
Yeah.
So Charlie's in multiple leagues, right? So Charlie has some of his own guys going up against his own guys in different leagues.
Oh,
so he has to cheer for his guys and then at the same time go, I just got my ass beat by that guy because he's on another team on another league.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't even know how you keep track of it, man. I don't know.
So I'm sure your headaches are a mess every week, Charlie. Or at what point do you go, I'm just putting the best guys out there and whatever happens, happens. At what point do you do that? Because I'm in 4 leagues myself. So
that's what you got to do. Like there's these guys now. Best ball's a whole different animal. You just draft, and
that is a whole different animal. I like that.
And the best, the highest scorer is going to score for your points. But I don't know how these guys are in like 15, 20 weekly setting lineup leagues, and I would go nuts. I mean, I'm already spending like an hour and a half on a Tuesday night, an hour and a half on Wednesday night, going through free agents and rosters and injuries and stuff. And then don't even talk about Sunday morning. I'm on my computer at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning and forget about if we're having a
active, who's inactive, who's injured, who's not injured.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I just enjoy the Dolphins so much because I know some people that never even watch football at my work. Then they got talked into doing fantasy football, and then they started watching football. Maybe the first year they got their butt kicked, but they liked it enough to say, "Oh, now I know I'm going to watch." So I know. So some of the guys that didn't even like football be talking football to me because they got hooked by fantasy football. But to me, I'm mainly all Dolphins, man. Like once the Dolphins are eliminated each year, I watch the playoffs, I watch the Super Bowl. But it's like I want like that thrill of the Dolphins winning, and that's what motivates me. It's the one thing outside of my control in life because I went out there, did a decent career for my family, put the roof over our head. I always make the thing, and then why do I care what the Dolphins do so much? Because it's other people living their dreams. But to me, it's just so fun watching them play, and I love it. I know I'm rooting for the people that don't like sports. They tell me, "Oh, you're rooting for the accomplishments of other grown men." I go, "Well, who cares? It's fun. I like it. You just don't understand." I go, if you go to a movie, you like acting, you're watching the accomplishments of another good actor. So it's no difference. We appreciate the ability that these guys have. I go out there, and it's just fun being a Dolphin fan. So that's why people that don't like sports don't understand. And that's just what the Dolphins to me just gets me going. And I have the same passion for the Boston Red Sox. I could easily throw all this Boston stuff back. Last week when I did a show, I had Ted Williams back there. Today I got Hall of Famer Ted Williams there, I would say. And then today I got Zach back there. So I have the passion for both teams, and that's just how I roll. But so I don't need fantasy to give me that extra motivated. And I'm sure you don't either, Charlie, because you would be a Dolphin fan, even if if you had fantasy or no fantasy.
So Charlie, do you watch football with other people, or or do you just watch the Red Zone channel by yourself, and just have I don't know. Whenever I'm watching the Red Zone channel, I can't watch it with my dad because he has no clue what the hell is going on. He'll look at it and I'll go, "There's a touchdown in the bottom corner," and he's like, "What?" And he just gets so lost. And I don't like watching it with other people because I can keep up with all that.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes I do watch with other people, but it just depends. But I will say this if the Dolphins are on at 1:00, I am watching the Dolphins at 1:00. I'll follow my scores along, and I'll flip over to Red Zone when it's on commercial or something or halftime. But from if it's 1 o'clock, I'm watching that Dolphins game. That's just me. But after that, if it's a 4:30 hits, then it's red zone all the way, and I'm just loving life then too. Hopefully,
You're my kind of guy, Charlie. I love that answer because when it's the Dolphins, there is no red zone in my house. After the Dolphins are over, and if the Dolphins, I'm a petty loser. I'll be honest. If the Dolphins win, then I watch every red zone, and I want to see the highlights at the end of the night. If the Dolphins lose, I turn off the TV and I forget football exists, and I go fishing and spend time with the wife, the kids, and all that. Dolphins win, then I'm a football junkie all day, and I turn because I don't have the fantasy to keep me in, but I still watch. But it all depends on the Dolphins winning or losing.
I could definitely envision Rob's wife being like, "So, honey, there's fishing. How'd the Dolphins do? I don't want to talk about it, dog."
Yeah, no. She knows. She knows that's the only time I get grumpy, and she to this day. I mean, we've been married over 20 years, and I've been yelling at the TV for 20 years while watching the Dolphins. She goes, "They can't hear you, don't you?" I'm like, "Yes, one day they're gonna look." Because every time like that play clock starts getting down close, I'm like, "Hi, stop the ball. She goes, "You're not gonna hear you. They're not gonna hear you, bro." I can't help it, Like one day they're gonna reach in and hear me. Because at least when I go to the games, I don't look like as much of a fool because I'm screaming with everyone else. But I'm here at TV, and both me and my younger son are yelling at the TV. She goes, "Look what you're teaching them. They don't hear you." But it's hard. I'm sure you guys screamed at the TV once or twice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So.
All right. 2 more questions here for you. All right. So it's opening night, right? Opening day. Sorry. First game, home opener, whatever the term is. Sorry, too many sports. But all right. So the Dolphins are there. What are you doing? You tailgating, and then if you're tailgating, what's on the grill, and what type of jersey are you wearing? The white? You wearing the teal? You wearing the orange? And who you wearing?
You can go first, Charlie.
Well, so actually, I haven't bought a jersey in years. So the only jersey, the last jersey I bought, I won't wear anymore unless I get a patch vibes for it, which is the Tannehill to Waddle transition I would need to do. But I would have to wear my either. I don't know. Sometimes I break out my orange Reggie Bush jersey. I love the old orange jerseys, and Reggie Bush was one of my favorite players when he was here and before he got here. But yeah, so I'm sitting down at noon. I'm having a good lunch, something to hold me over because I'm not moving for the next 4 hours from that chair. I don't get to tailgate. I'm up here unless I go to a Steelers game, but I don't. So I'm doing my own home living room tailgate, getting ready for it. I got my snacks, I got my beer or my pop, whichever hits me that day, and I've got either my Reggie Bush or Dan Marino jersey on, or sometimes just one of my orange Dolphins shirts on, and the hat backwards, kind of like now,
Yeah, no, that's a perfect answer. I will follow up with the only jersey I have is a Hall of Famer, Zach Thomas, and that was him and my friend gave it to me. Because I just never find jerseys that comfortable. I'm a T-shirt guy, so I'd be rocking the Aqua T-shirt. And with a big Dolphin, most of the time, a throwback logo or the 80s logo when Dan Marino played that era logo. And that's what I'd be rocking. And as far as being at the tailgate, we keep it simple. Hot dogs, burgers, throw some cheese on that burger, of course, make it a cheeseburger. But we just keep it simple. We don't get anything fancy. Some of these guys are actually doing steaks in the Hard Rock Stadium parking lot and big sauces and everything, man. But,
About last year, whenever the people just put the grill in their car and it was still hot.
Oh yes, that was
fire in the parking lot.
Yeah, hey, leaving a good old Florida to make the news on. My good old South Florida to make the news on that. So, and I love my state though, so it's all good. But yeah,
crazy.
No, you can see smoke raising from the stadium. You're like, what the heck? So, can you imagine being the guy that's not aiming that guy, and then because cars next to him burn. You go out there, hey, and then you go out there.
Six cars burned, right?
Yeah, there were several cars burned.
Like there weren't more.
Yeah, that was bad because.
Did you see the video, Charlie?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah, you're going to have to Google it or whatever, and just put like burning car, Hard Rock Stadium Dolphins game or whatever. I'm sure it would still pop up. But yeah, it made news all over. I mean, if he's hearing it away from South Florida, I guess it made national. I just thought it was like local news thing down here, but I guess
I saw it on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I saw it on one of the Fins Up pages. I forget. It might have even been the commission. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
TSS Fantasy. I'm not sure. I might have seen it on there. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't
Man.
even know how you keep up with all the sports you do, man. Like I said, I do well enough keeping them up with the Dolphins and the Red Sox. You got, you don't even, those aren't even your teams, and you know so much about the Red Sox, you know so much about the Dolphins. I don't know. I don't know how you guys have time to do all of that, man. That's crazy.
I just do what I got to do to get by.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the. Come on, mate. I mean, look at Adam. He's a whack job. Look at him.
Yeah. Well, he does have that classic Pac-Man game back in the background, so he gets kudos for that.
He's got.
I didn't even turn it on today. I didn't even realize it was turned off.
You got some shit on the machine. Look to the right of the machine. You got some shit on it. You might want to clean it.
Yeah. Well, he does have a hat that looks like cleaning on there.
For those that are not seeing it, I'm talking about that. Yeah, there it is. Take it out. Get rid of that. Yeah. What, you need some toilet paper? Yeah, come on. Hey, all right. So final thing here, guys. What key moment here made you guys Dolphins fans? Like, Rob, what made you a Dolphin? What's a key memory that sticks in your head forever that you're like, wow, I love this team?
Well, being born and raised in South Florida with parents that like the Dolphins, that was a big part of it. I mean, they're not as my dad's passed away now, but he wasn't as diehard as what I've become. But you know, he's good, and my mom's still here. Thank you God. And she likes the Dolphins, but never as much as I did. But the memory, so I was just raised over. I mean, my mom has pictures of me. You know, but the Dolphin game was always on the TV every week. We didn't go to a lot of games when I was really young. And then, but, you know, so I saw the games on the TV every week that were on TV. And so she had me like pictures of me, like in Bob Greasy days. You know, I was that small, and they had me in Bob Greasy shirts. My sister has one, and Larry Zonka, and my other sister has Paul Warfield. And, you know, that picture's awesome. It shows me how young I was and how young they were. And then, oh boy, I got old. But anyway, you know, it's all good. And we had that. But the first memory of me as a Dolphin fan, I was sucked into the game. 1981 playoff game against the Chargers, a game the Dolphins end up losing, but the Dolphins were down 24-0. They take out you know, David Woodley. They bring in Don Strock. They have a miraculous comeback, only to lose in overtime, but it was an epic game. If you guys look it up, it's a famous game. It's a famous Dolphins play in it, the hook and lateral play where Don Strock throws to Darrell Harris and he flips the ball to Tony Nathan, and Tony Nathan takes it all the way to the house. It's like good stuff. So that game hooked me for sure. Hey, welcome to the show, Andy. Welcome to the show. And then it was great, man. That's where that game, 1981 playoff game against the Chargers. It was then, of course, San Diego Chargers. Kelvin Winslow was on the Chargers, and he killed the Dolphins that day. But it was a great, great game, and I'll never forget it, even though we lost. And that's how I became a Dolphin fan for life.
Nice. Yeah, so I go back. My parents used to tell me that I ended up liking the Dolphins because of the uniform colors. I'm not even lying about that. That's how it first attracted me, I guess, was the different color scheme. Yeah, and I like the colors. But I have a similar memory, you know, not a similar memory, but my dad also has passed. But so my dad was a diehard Cowboys fan. That's what he was. He loved the Cowboys, and that was it. I remember sitting and watching the Snow Bowl game down in Dallas with him, the Leon Lett game.
Yeah.
And I would say that
was Thanksgiving Day, right?
Yep, Thanksgiving Day.
You know, and my dad and I used to sit together and watch football, even if it was the stinking Cowboys. You know, but that's a memory that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And then having him, you know, having the game end up like it did, and me being able to rub it in his face for probably, I don't even know, probably years. I know it was years, because up until he passed, I'd hit him up on Facebook every time, you know, the video would pop up.
Yeah.
That's probably what, you know, that's the game that I remember locking me in.
Yeah, no, that's great. So that's awesome. And like I said, the game I referenced, you guys are all too young to remember, so I have no worries.
Big spike Jets on Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah, that was another good one.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Just to let you know, guys, Dated is watching tonight. Good guy there. Lots of good content on that guy's channel. He actually had the Hall of Fame interview and everything, so he's really good at what he does, man. And he's awesome.
Yeah, cool
Word,
stuff.
man. Well, thank you guys for sharing your stories and talking some Dolphins football with us, man.
Yeah,
Just really excited.
I'm a fan.
It's nice to meet all of you guys,
I was
Charlie.
looking for my starter jacket. I couldn't find it. It must be downstairs.
Man, you got every team, man. You could be on any team's bandwagon, and people would think, "Oh, this guy's been a fan forever of that team." So you could just
I've
throw
been a
on.
Marina. I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I've been a Marina fan.
Okay.
Naturally, you follow the quarterback you want to follow, and it brings you into being a team. I grew into Miami. I grew into the U. It grew on me,
Yeah. I always think though, because man, you guys could have drafted Dan Marino right there, hometown kid. If you would have drafted him, he probably would have won Super Bowls because you guys had a good run with him. You guys would have really been on.
Apparently he had a problem.
Yeah, I know that's what they said. So but hey, that was a good benefit for us because he fell down the draft board and he ended up being a Hall of Fame player for us. So hey, I like all that.
Right.
Dolph Freaky is great. She's a big time. She was Dolphin fan of the year, so I guess you guys know her.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah. I love her hair duo. She pulls it off.
Yeah, she does.
Hey, Andy.
Andy's a big Bears fan. He's coming on the show next Thursday to talk Bears, so everyone tune into that one.
All I know is that I'm happy. I don't know how old Andy is, but I'm just happy that the Dolphins beat the Bears in 1985.
Give him a follow. He's very talkative, very sociable guy. It's helped me a lot through getting through being a better podcaster. So it's always been someone I looked up to.
All right, that's cool. He's on Twitter. I'm Dolphin Thirsty on Twitter. Follow me, I'll follow you back. I always follow everyone's back. I'm horrible at remembering names.
There we go. He even gave up his age, guys. He even gave up his age.
All right. So
Charlie, you want to drop us with your handlebar? Where can people reach you at?
It's at Chuck Cavalier, Cavallier, not like the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Real winner there, Chuck, baby.
I got to go. I'm down to 2% on my MacBook. I appreciate y'all having me on tonight. It was great talking.
Thumbs up to you, Charlie.
So,
Charlie, we'll do it again, buddy.
That's right. Absolutely.
Let's go Dolphins, baby.
Woo! Fins up, guys.
Absolutely. Rob, how people get you?
No, I'm Dolphin Thirsty. Drop the S on Twitter, but everywhere else on YouTube, I'm Dolphins Thirsty. So if you like the Dolphins, like my channel, just like this channel, man. Great stuff. So thank you. Name it dolphinthirsty.com is my website. So all things Miami Dolphins.
There you go, guys. Well, thanks for listening to us here on Driving to the Top Productions, baby. Alex Contreras. Thanks for joining us here.
We're on the road to Vegas. That's what this show is called.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie died.
Yeah, he said he was good going. So hey, that's all good. That's a perfect time. It's late for me too because I did my show now. This one I'm running behind schedule, but you guys are great for having me. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for coming on. Alex, how people get you, man?
Hey, at the Real Acom, baby. We're excited for Dolphins football. We're still hanging out with the floundering fish. And thanks for joining us out here, Chat 305, baby. Sports Talk. Yeah, sports talking and driving to the top, baby. You know what? Cue the music, baby. Cue the video.
I'm not touching this video again.